Welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real life American English. Today, we're going to learn some confusing vocabulary. So let's get started. Today, we're going to learn slick, slippery, slip, and slide, and all the different ways we use these words. Our first word is slippery and slick. We have two words. They both mean the same thing in this context. They're both adjectives. They're both descriptions. They describe the surface that he's walking on. The surface is slippery, or I can say the surface is slick. It means it's smooth and dangerous to walk on. Slippery and slick. First, let's practice with slippery. Pronunciation, use the short I sound for the first syllable. I, like this is. Slip. Slippery. Slippery. Make the R sound. Slipper. Slippery. And continue with the long E sound at the end. Slippery. The sidewalk is slippery. He needs to be careful because the sidewalk is slippery. Or I can say the road, the street. The street is slippery. You need to be careful driving because the road is slippery. Let's practice. Is the sidewalk slippery? That's right. The sidewalk is slippery. He needs to be careful. What about the street? Is the street slippery? That's right. The street is slippery. So when you have ice on the surface and it's dangerous to walk, you can describe it as slippery. If you have a road that has ice on it, you can describe it as slippery. Or you can describe it as slick. The sidewalk is slick. It's very slick because it's covered in ice. He needs to be careful because the sidewalk is slick. Let's practice. Is the sidewalk slick? That's right. The sidewalk is slick. I can also describe the road or the streets. The streets are slick. One street, two streets, all the streets. The streets are slick because there was a snowstorm and there's ice on the roads. Slick. Pronunciation, use the short I sound like this is. Slick, slick. Open sound. Slick. The roads are slick today. Let's practice. Are the roads slick? That's right. The roads are slick. You need to be careful. It's dangerous out there. Now, let's talk about these two words. These two words are different because they're not adjectives. They're verbs. They're actions. This is what happens when you walk on the ice. You slip, or do you slide? They're different. We use the word slip when you walk on the ice. Why? Because slip is when you talk about a short distance. This is slip. You walk on the ice and you slip on the ice. But the car is driving on the ice and the car has a long distance, moves a long distance. This is slide. So again, slip is a short distance and slide is a longer distance. But they have a similar idea. You slip on the ice when you're walking, and your car slides on the ice when you're driving. Let's practice the different uses. First, let's talk about slip. In the present, slip. In the past, slipped. We hear the ED making the T sound. Link the sounds together. Slipped, slipped. He slipped on the ice. We use the preposition on. He was walking and he slipped on the ice. Don't be confused with this word. This word is sleep in the present and slept in the past. Let's compare the different sounds. With slip, we see the letter I making a short I sound. Slip. Like this is slip. In the past, slipped. We use the same short I sound with the past verb. Slipped, slipped. And this is sleep. The double E makes a long E sound like green beans. Sleep. In the past, slept. The E makes a short sound like eggs and 10. Slept. Example, he slept all night. And this example, he slipped on the ice. Different pronunciation. Let's practice. Did he slip on the ice? That's right, he slipped on the ice. Did he sleep all night? That's right, he slept all night. Different pronunciation. Now let's practice with slip and fall. In the present, slip and fall. Be careful. The sidewalk is slippery. You might slip and fall. But in the past, what happened? Oh, he slipped and fell. Fell is the past of fall. So in describing what happened in this accident, he was walking on the sidewalk and he slipped and fell on the ice. Let's practice. What happened? Did he slip and fall? That's right. He slipped and fell on the ice. So remember, slip. This is slip, and it's primarily used as a verb. Slip. But we have different slips. This is a slip, and this is a slip, and this is a slip too. Let's look at each one. First, this is a slip. It's a kind of underwear that you wear under a dress. It's called a slip. It's countable, so we say You wear a slip under your dress. Well, I don't, but women do. Some women do. If they wear a dress, they can wear a slip under the dress. Let's practice. Can you wear a slip under your dress? That's right. You can wear a slip under your dress. And this slip, what is this slip? This is a piece of paper. A piece of paper that is smaller than a regular size is called a slip of paper. Example, this is a permission slip. Sometimes in school, the school takes the whole class to a museum or something like that, and they give the children a permission slip to take home to the parents, and the parents need to sign the permission slip. And the children bring the permission slip back to the teacher and give it to the teacher. It's part of the process. The parents need to sign the permission slip to give permission for the students to go on the field trip, to leave the school and go do some activities. Let's practice. Do the parents need to sign the permission slip? That's right. The parents need to sign the permission slip. And here's another piece of paper. This is called a deposit slip. When you go to the bank and you see that little table with the pens, you have to fill out the deposit slip when you make a deposit. So let's practice. Do you need to fill out the deposit slip when you make a deposit? That's right. You need to fill out the deposit slip when you make a deposit. It's that little piece of paper. It's a slip of paper. Now let's talk about some expressions with the word slip. This is a slip of the tongue. What is a slip of the tongue? It's when you say something on accident. You say something that you didn't mean to say. You didn't want to say it. It was an accident. So I can say it was a slip of the tongue. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It was a slip of the tongue. So this guy, he said something. It was an accident. He didn't want to say it. He didn't mean to say it. Was it a slip of the tongue? That's right. It was a slip of the tongue. Another expression, it slipped my mind. In this case, slip is a verb in the past form, slipped. It slipped my mind. It means I forgot. I forgot to do something. So I say, sorry, it slipped my mind. It means I forgot. So in the picture, he forgot to do something. He forgot to call his friend. He was supposed to call his friend, but he forgot. So I can say, it slipped his mind. We use possessive. It slipped my mind. It slipped your mind. In this case, it slipped his mind. Let's practice. He was supposed to call his friend, but he didn't. What happened? Did it slip his mind? That's right. It slipped his mind. He forgot. Now, let's look at the actions. Let me get out of the way here. All right. The actions slip in a continuous form, slipping. He is slipping because it's a short distance, and the car is sliding. It's sliding on the road because it's a longer distance. We use the verb slide in the continuous form, sliding. So I can say the car is sliding on the road, or I can say the car is sliding all over the road. All over means in all areas. Over here, over there, all over. The car is sliding all over the road because the road is very slippery. Let's practice. Is the car sliding all over the road? That's right. The car is sliding all over the road. Why? Why is the car sliding all over the road? That's right. Because the road is very slippery. Or you can say because the road is very slick. Now let's look at this example. Slide in a continuous form, sliding. The baseball player is sliding. It's a longer distance. It's not slip, it's slide. The baseball player is sliding into first base. You can slide into first base, second base, third base, or home plate. We use the preposition into. He's sliding into first base. Let's practice. Is he sliding into first base? That's right. He's sliding into first base. But what if I change the verb slide to the past? It's an irregular verb. The past is slid. We don't say slided, we say slid. So in the present, slide. In the past, slid. He slid into first base. That's what happened. I'm talking about the past now. What happened? Did he slide into first base? That's right. He slid into first base. Let's talk about the pronunciation. So slide, you have the long I, like I slide. And slid in the past, you have the short I sound, like this is. He slid into first base. Another example, the car slides. In the present, the car slides, but in the past, the car slid. The car slid off the road. Now, before, remember, the car was sliding all over the road, but it's still on the road. Now the car is not on the road, the car is off the road. The opposite of on is off. The car slid off the road. It's what happened. It's the past. Let's practice. What happened? Did the car slide off the road? That's right. The car slid off the road. Why did the car slide off the road? That's right, because the road is very slippery. He lost control and the car slid off the road. Now let's talk about slide, not as a verb, but as a noun. The slide. This is the slide. Of course, I can say a slide if I'm talking about one in general. This is a slide. But normally in a park or a playground, you have one slide, so it's specific, the slide. And the verb, do we say the boy is sliding on the slide? You can, but normally we don't. We say go down the slide. So in the continuous form, the boy is going down the slide. That's the name of this thing. It's called the slide. Let's practice. What is the boy doing? Is he going down the slide? That's right. He's going down the slide. Looks like fun. Or I can use play on. Play on the slide. These kids are playing on the slide. Use the continuous form. Playing. These kids are playing on the slide. Let's practice. What are these kids doing? That's right. They're playing on the slide. And this is a water slide. The same action. Go down the water slide, or I can use the verb ride. Ride the water slide. So in the continuous form, the kids are riding the water slide, or I can say the kids are going down the water slide. Let's practice with both. Are the kids riding the water slide? That's right. The kids are riding the water slide. Or I can say go down in a continuous form, going down. Are the kids going down the water slide? That's right. The kids are going down the water slide. So remember, we have slick and slippery. They're both descriptions, they're both adjectives that describe a surface, slick or slippery. And the verbs are slip and slide. Slip is a shorter distance and slide is a longer distance. And remember the past forms. Slip in the past is slipped, and slide in the past is slid. I know this is a lot of vocabulary and it's very confusing. So if you're still a little confused, watch it again. You can practice more. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.